A legal brief is a written document that presents a party's argument in a court case. It is a crucial component of the litigation process, as it provides the court with a clear and concise summary of the party's position, including the relevant facts, laws, and arguments. What is a legal brief? A legal brief is a written document that presents a party's argument in a court case. It is typically filed with the court and served on the opposing party, and it provides a clear and concise summary of the party's position, including the relevant facts, laws, and arguments. Purpose of a legal brief. The primary purpose of a legal brief is to persuade the court to rule in favor of the party that filed the brief. A well-crafted brief can help to clearly present the party's argument. A brief should clearly and concisely present the party's argument, including the relevant facts, laws, and arguments. Persuade the court. A brief should be persuasive, using logical and compelling arguments to convince the court to rule in favor of the party. Provide a roadmap for the court. A brief should provide a clear roadmap for the court, outlining the key issues and arguments that the party will present. Key elements of a legal brief. A well-crafted brief should include the following key elements. Introduction. A brief introduction that sets out the party's position and the key issues in the case. Statement of facts. A clear and concise statement of the relevant facts in the case. Argument. A clear and concise argument that presents the party's position, including the relevant laws and authorities. Conclusion. A brief conclusion that summarizes the party's argument and reiterates the key points. Appendices. Any relevant appendices, such as exhibits, affidavits, or other supporting documents. Types of legal briefs. There are several types of legal briefs, including appellate brief, a brief filed in an appellate court, arguing that the lower court's decision was incorrect. Trial brief, a brief filed in a trial court, arguing the party's position on the key issues in the case. Amicus brief, a brief filed by a non-party, arguing a particular position or perspective on the case. Motion brief, a brief filed in support of a motion, arguing the party's position on a specific issue. Best practices for writing a legal brief. When writing a legal brief, there are several best practices to keep in mind, including clearly and concisely present the party's argument. A brief should clearly and concisely present the party's argument, avoiding unnecessary complexity or jargon. Use persuasive language. A brief should use persuasive language, using rhetorical devices and other techniques to convince the court to rule in favor of the party. Organize the brief logically. A brief should be organized logically, using headings, subheadings, and other formatting techniques to make the brief easy to follow. Use relevant authorities. A brief should use relevant authorities, including statutes, case law, and other sources, to support the party's argument. In conclusion, a legal brief is a critical component of the litigation process, providing a clear and concise summary of a party's position, including the relevant facts, laws, and arguments. By following the key elements and best practices outlined in this article, parties can craft a well-written brief that effectively presents their argument and persuades the court to rule in their favor.